Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Portland. We're grateful that you've decided to share the time with us this morning, whether you're here in person or online. Hoping I'm looking at the right camera. We're a multi-generational, spiritually inclusive, and justice-centered community that strives to put love at the center. A special welcome if you're new among us. Now let's take a few moments to greet one another. It's time for our chalice lighting. Reverend Mitra will light our chalice today. If you're joining us from home, I invite you to light your own chalice or a candle if you have one. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love.
Another good morning to you. The Reverend Gordon McKeeman wrote, "Whenever there is a meeting that summons us to our better selves, wherever our lostness is found, our fragments are united, our wounds begin healing, our spines stiffen, and our muscles grow strong for the task, there is ministry." Welcome to this day of worship where together we are the ministry. Let us be in worship. Today we start, this is August, so we return to the time for all ages. This is, which means I'm heading down because I feel like I'm too far away. I can't handle it. Here I come. Here I come. So they said I had to do the time for all ages. Oh. I'm not sorry. I'm more better. Look at my grammar. I'm more better at conversation. So time for all ages. First, I'm not going to ask the youth to do anything but right now, which is raise your hand if you're here, so I can see if anybody who perhaps is under 18 years old at this moment. I just like to see where you are. Thank you. Thank you. But time for all ages does mean all ages, so now everybody gets to participate. Today, we are talking about good relationships with other people, friends, family, community. So let me ask, raise your hand if you ever watch TV. It's a good number. Okay, good. You guys can play. Good. I'm glad. I always like congregations that will play with me. Let's pretend that we have one TV for the whole congregation. And half of the room wants to watch So You Think You Can Dance, and half the room wants to watch The Voice. And there's no way to record one or the other. Modern world doesn't happen in this life. How are we going to work it out? What might you say, and I'm going to ask for, this is where you get to participate, of any age. What could you say or do to show that you are being respectful of the other opinion? Yes. Listen. My favorite. You're my favorite person now in the whole world. I feel like listening can help us really save the world. Yes. What else? Anybody else? Yeah.
15 minutes on one show, 15 minutes on the other.
Compromise. 15 minutes on one show, 15 minutes on the other. Absolutely. Like with the kitchen timer, of course. What is something that you could do or say to explain that you are listening? Yes, repeat what they say. I hear that you want to watch. I hear that your favorite show is. Yeah. Ask a question. Absolutely. Absolutely. What could you do or say to show that you are compassionate? Yes. Make supportive noises. That's so true. I am not a sports person, but you better believe I root for the team that whoever I'm with is rooting for. I will cheer as loud as anybody else, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. What else? What else could you say or do to say that you're compassionate in the difference of opinions? Yeah. Oh, you can decide, I'll go make popcorn. Let me take care of you, and so you have a nice time. That's nice. Nice. What about something like, your show is really good too. You have a really good point. Lastly, what could you say or do to express gratitude? Thank you for hearing me out. Absolutely. What else? Yes. If you didn't hear it, thank you for letting me watch my show. Next time we'll watch your show. Well, as Unitarian Universalists, we try really hard to be in right relationship with people. This gets particularly hard when there's a difference of want or opinion, usually something a little bit more serious than a TV show. Therefore, all our lives, no matter our age, we all have to learn and relearn to be in what we call right relationship with one another. So thank you for helping me think through how to do that. Now I know better. We all need to keep practicing, and to do so, I always say, may we do so with an open mind, helping hands, and a loving heart. So now it's time for our young people and their leaders to move to our summer program. All are invited to be part of our multi-generational garden club through August. Can you tell I was scripted this? If you are a new family, you're especially welcome. Please join us in the lobby right now so we can greet you and show you where to go. There's someone back there with a little sign over there. Everybody else, let's sing our hymn of blessing.
point of our service, we in our scripts called Church Happenings. I invite you to our social hour downstairs in Fuller Hall immediately after this service. Enjoy coffee, tea, and chat with other congregants. As you may have heard, the 2026 midterm election is less than 100 days away. Over the coming weeks, we will be rolling out multiple opportunities for you to build community here in Oregon and with our UU partners in North Carolina. As before, our focus will be on nonpartisan efforts to make a difference by encouraging and helping people to vote. That includes letter writing, phone banking, local ballot box monitoring, and more. Stop by the Democracy in Action or UU the Vote table in social hour after the service, and where you can pick up packets of letters to write to North Carolina voters. And if you are new, please stop by our First Connections table in social hour, learn a little bit more about the church, ask questions, and maybe make a few friends. Before we move to our anthem, some of you may know that I volunteer in the church office. I have the privilege and honor of witnessing firsthand that so much of what holds this community together happens quietly behind the scenes. To that end, I want to acknowledge that creating a sanctuary of welcoming, justice, and care takes incredible effort. And so much of that labor is generously offered by our dedicated staff. Behind every light turned on, every program run, and every quiet act of pastoral care are staff members giving their time, energy, and heart. I offer my sincere thanks for their unseen hours and unwavering care for this community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Interim and summer ministries offer us a rare and beautiful gift, a chance to see ourselves through fresh, wise eyes. Over the last 5 weeks, Reverend Mitra has done just that. Just energizing our spirits, offering rich wisdom, and helping us look ahead with foresight and hope. On behalf of the whole congregation, thank you, Reverend Mitra, for your uplifting, humorous ministry and generous presence with us this summer. Thank you. I'll take a moment to introduce you to our guest musician today, named Bobby Joe Valentine, an award-winning songwriter and musician who has a special affinity for Unitarian Universalist congregations. So Bobby Joe, welcome back to the chancel.
I have seen it for myself. When a dream wakes up and finds its lover come home, I have been there on that hallowed ground, heard those sacred sounds. So don't leave your dream alone. Don't leave your dream alone. Doubt the dark pretender, faith the fierce defender. I feel them fighting over me. So I build the ordinary round me like a sanctuary. I've heard that all good dreams have teeth, and it's okay to be scared. We're all afraid we're not enough, but just make sure that you're there when your dream wakes up. Some are savers for a later time, when their world unwinds and all their worries fade, but nothing's certain, and final curtain call is different for us all. So don't hide your dreams away, doubt the dark pretender, faith the fierce defender. I feel them fighting over me. So I build the ordinary round me like a sanctuary. I've heard that all good dreams have teeth, and it's okay if you're scared. Some days we think we're not enough, but just make sure that you're there when your dream wakes up. Oh, pain the cold commander, love the only answer. I feel them fighting, so I build the ordinary round me like a sanctuary. I've heard that all good dreams have teeth, and it's okay when I'm scared. Some days I think I'm not enough, but I'll make sure that I'm there when my dream wakes up. So make sure that you're there when your dream wakes up. Yes, make sure that you're there when your dream wakes up.
Thank you, Bobby Joe. It's now time for our weekly offering. Today, we are sharing our offerings with Drum, diverse, revolutionary, UU multicultural ministries. Drum is a UU People of Color ministry and anti-racist collective bringing lay and religious professionals together to overcome a racism through resistance and to transform Unitarian Universalism through our multicultural experiences. Drum serves hundreds of UUs of color through chaplaincy, community building, worship, and leadership development. If you'd like to donate via check or cash, our ushers will be coming through the sanctuary in a moment. If you're at home, you can use the donate button or QR code that will soon be appearing on our screens behind me, or the yellow slips in the holders in front of you. And if you're on Boxcast, you can also use the donate button. Thank you for your generosity. It makes a difference. Whew, I am burning up. We make space each week in our service to name the milestones of sorrows, transitions, and joys of our community. If you have a milestone that you would like shared during service or held by our ministers and lay ministers, you can go to our website and search for pastoral care. You could also use the tiny URL that may or may not be showing on the screen here momentarily. And if you're here in person, you can light a candle on either side gallery, write down your intention, and place it in the prayer urn where it will be held by our lay ministers. I have two concerns to share with you today. Chris Gates had surgery this past Tuesday. He is hopeful that it will be a swift recovery and appreciates knowing that we are holding him in care. Ron Williams, brother of longtime members Cindy McEnroe and brother-in-law of Joe Coletto, died in the Philippines on July 9th. He will be remembered by those who knew and loved him for his kindness, playfulness, and sense of adventure. Would you please pray with me? Spirit of God, life of many names and gentle presence, we gather today asking for love and support for Chris, Cindy, and Joe. We hold in our hearts all those affected by the devastating fires raging across Oregon, California, Washington, and across Europe. As flames stretch across our lands, we hold space for the sorrow, fear, and loss felt by so many communities. We offer our deep gratitude and prayers for the health, strength, and safety of the firefighters, emergency crews, and first responders. Protect those who step into danger to shield our homes, our lives, and the earth we cherish. May a cool wind blow. May healing rains fall. And may our shared compassion guide us to support one another through the ashes into hope. May it be so. Blessed be. Now please join me for a few moments of silence. Please rise in body and spirit as we sing our doxology, Spirit of Life.
So the reading today is a little bit different because hopefully you come and if I'm here, you know that something's going to be weird. This is a list of states of being, naming them, and there's 2 slides of them. Naming our state of being can be a way to find out where we are, which is a part of being in right relationship. So this is how it works. I'm going to read all the statements out loud, going down one side and then the other, and then there's another slide, and I'll go down that slide and the other. You are invited to join with me in unison, reading the ones out loud that resonate with you in this moment. So be brave and read with them out loud. Does that make sense? Okay. Deep breath. I am hopeful. I am frazzled. I am rested. I am yearning. I am happy. I am hungry. I am sated. I am lonely. I am pleased. I am worried. I am optimistic. I am loving. I am encouraged. I am nervous. I am frustrated. I am overjoyed. I am anxious. I am confident. I am hurt. I am excited. I am gloomy. I am angry. I am comforted. I am content. I am challenged. I am afraid. I am dismayed. I am delighted. I am energized. I am overwhelmed. I am exhausted. I am sad. I am undaunted. I am invested. I am prepared. I am open.
I've spent so long trying to belong, but this won't be the last song from me you'll hear. So before I go, I thought you should know a few of the things in my heart I hold dear. You are a treasure, and wealth is a measure that's only decided by what you believe. So go where your soul goes, 'cause all ground is hallowed, and you are not shallow for chasing your dreams. Dance with the dancers, question the answers, laugh lots of laughter, but cry lots of tears, and be who you are right from the start. And don't give your heart to the cancer called fear. Talk more to strangers, they might be angels or broken souls that fate's left in your care. And some will reject you, but love will protect you, and you will be better for meeting them there. So dance with the dancers, laugh lots of laughter, but cry lots of tears, and be who you are right from the start. And don't give your heart to the cancer called fear. No, don't. Avoid pretension, shoot for redemption. Remember that folks are not all what they seem. It seems some are devils, it seems some are rebels, but most are disheveled and caught in between. So dance with the dancers, question the answers, laugh lots of laughter, cry lots of tears, and be who you are right from the start. And don't give your heart to the cancer called fear. No, don't give your heart to the cancer called fear.
Okay. So when a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? All right, lesson learned. We can all go home now. This question is from a philosopher named George Berkeley, who in his 1710 work, A Treatise Concerning the Principles of Human Knowledge, wrote, "But say, quote, but say you, surely there is nothing easier for me to imagine trees, for instance, in a park, and nobody by to perceive them. The objects of sense exist only when they are perceived." 20 years later, his thought was developed by a character named William Fawcett, who said, quote, "Tease apart the threads of the natural world and the pattern vanishes. The design is how the cloth maker arranges the threads, this way and that as fashion dictates. To say something is meaningful is to say that it is how we arrange it to be so, how we comprehend it to be. And what is comprehended by you or I may not be by a cat, for example. If a tree falls in a park and there is no one at hand, it is silent and invisible and nameless. And if we were to vanish, there would be no tree at all. Any meaning would vanish along with us, other than what the cat makes of it all, of course. Okay, so 200 years later, nowadays, when posed this question, we might meander through reason and science. We think of the logistics of forest and the science of sound waves, and we have a broader understanding of animals and creatures and life beyond humans that get to claim existence too. So yes, of course there is sound without a human ear to hear it. We are not the center of the universe, because the cat, for example, actually matters to the bigger life in our world. We know this. Therefore, the more interesting question is, how relational is the tree? Not, does it make sound? Rather, does the sound have impact if it is not heard? Does the roar itself, a great crash of a tree falling, matter if there is nothing at all to experience its existence? Today, we know, for example, anything spinning in space where there's nothing to experience it is absolute quiet. For in space, there are no particles of air that make sound. There's no resistance. There's no cats. God, I love you. So it's silent. But we also know that the tree would not be alive in space. Therefore, no life plus no relationship, no sound. The sound of the forest is, therefore, relational. Just as all of life's existence and movement and being is relationship, our birthing, our growing, our dying is relational. The minute bits of an individual's body's existence only has impact, sound, and meaning by how we experience and then arrange it. And that is all relational in known and sometimes unknown ways. Therefore, central to the religious task is to pay attention to what we call right relations within ourselves, within one another, in groups, in families, with children, the earth, the sacred cycles of life, the spirit of life, God, even right relationship with our history, our ancestry, the present moment in time, as well as the future. So a lot to be in right relationship with. And ultimately, this is a journey of knowing our existence, is writing our relations. So the religious argument for seeking right relations comes in texts, such as in various different texts, such as the book of Job and the Hebrew Bible, which explores bad things happening to people who try and do good things. And we all struggle with facing pain and not taking our hurts and stressors and anxieties out on another. Job, who had in the story lost everything, his family, his livelihood, his ability, and more, in a very tragic and sudden manner asks, "What strength do I have that I should still hope? What prospects that I should be patient?" Hope and patience. These words are at the core of right relations. Then he ends by saying, "Relent, do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake." Ooh, I gotta say that again. He says, "Relent, do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake." Ultimately, Job's desire to be in right relationship with himself and ultimately with his God superseded his anger and pain. That's inspiring for those of us who have had deep loss and hurt and want to just say, screw it, but instead seek to right the relationship with our own belief in life. Another biblical text is the letter to Colossians 3, when the command for rightly relations is about living into the plan God has for humanity. It tells us, "Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity." Some good reminders there. And yet another religious text that I must lift up on right relations comes from the Prophet Muhammad's last sermon, in which he tells specific ways he says, to keep covenant of right relations, or right relationship. He says very specific things. Do not take interest when making a loan. Beware of evil in the small things. Be kind to women and remember they have rights. Maintain the rituals such as prayer, fasting, and giving of your wealth that keeps you connected to the holy life, and that people are equal no matter their racial identity. Avoid racial superiority and focus on character. All of that is clear direction, commands of sort that comes from the prophet. For Unitarian Universalists, we draw on all these sources of wisdom as we explore the nature of humanity, because we understand that the nature of existence, as well as religion itself, is relational. The nature of existence is relationship. The nature of our religion is relational. For although on a moment-to-moment basis we experience a singular experience of life, I, our faith reminds us that our sounds are heard and witnessed and known and lived out in relationship. Now, if you check a more modern source of wisdom, which we also use, you might ask Google, what is right relationship? And you'll find a number of top 10 lists of figures to figure out if you're in the right romantic relationship, or tips on how to find the right relationship. You'll get advice on love and communication and sex and playing games. They're all could be good reminders, I suppose, but not exactly what we're referring to in church life. Here, being in right relationship involves paying attention to the mind, body, spirit combined. And it's about experiencing an alignment or realignment of who we are now with who we want to be collectively. I think this congregation knows something about aligning and realigning with who we are now and who we want to be collectively. Right relationship involves things like respect and gratitude and honesty, compassion, connection. We learn to listen appreciatively, speak with care, assume good intentions, forgive, make amends, reconnect over and over and over again. I always say, nothing in my sermons are ever anything you haven't heard before. We just have to relearn things over and over and over again. It's the spiritual journey to tend to all our relationships, personal, interpersonal, institutional, cultural, and ideological. The journey to nurture our spirits, offer presence, and cultivate hope. My mentor, the Reverend Ann Hines, put it simply when she said, right relation is exactly what a religious community should be about. All that comes with our existence is relational. It's hugely expansive and tiny, tiny, minute ways. All of our existence is relational. Therefore, exactly what religious community should be about. So the act of writing our relations involves several overlapping religious practices. One that is often, you may have heard me talk about, the first for Unitarian Universalists, the claiming of ourselves. It's admitting to our own existence. I feel like this is a majority of the ministry, being present to the existence by knowing and naming your own state of being. It's amazing how much we minimize the fact of our existence and therefore our impact. When we observe the world, we can forget that we are part of the picture because we're looking that way. We can also fool ourselves by thinking we have no power, which means we avoid responsibility and expectation, our own and others. One of the most common community missteps we make is how we minimize ourselves when we commit triangulation. I have to talk about this because it is at the center of transitional ministry for me. Triangulation is indirectly talking about our concerns in a community to get other people to agree, or asking someone else to pass on information that is difficult, or even to be anonymous. These are common mishaps in covenantal community, avoiding the deeply religious reality that we exist and that we make impact. Little by little, when we triangulate, we make ourselves smaller. When we're not aware of ourselves, we cannot make decisions about our energy because our energy is being used to avoid our impact. Being in right relationship with ourselves is being present and honest with one's own life story, deeply knowing that we are sacred beings. Writing relationship is also about living into connections. Those connections are not always comfortable, although they should always be life-affirming. That's an important caveat. What this means is we aim to witness another with love and compassion and patience in order to affirm another's existence as vast and as deep as your own. Everybody else's experience is as vast and as deep as your own. Practically, what this means is rather than making assumptions or judgments about another, be curious and ask questions. I'll never forget one time in a church far, far away from here, I overheard one congregant gossip about another by saying, "She's been married 5 times." Yeah. Of course, this statement was in fact a judgment. But instead of the judgment, what I'm talking about is living into the connection. Being in right relationship would be to ask a question, to wonder if marriage and companionship is really important to her sense of life. It's kind of a simple example of a real pattern that we, and I've seen over and over again, can slip into when we're in community. Judging, replacing judging with questions, heartfelt, loving questions. Living into connection rather than separation is undoubtedly righting our relationship. We know the inner being of another is largely unknowable. Therefore, we have to continually try to honor the mystery and dignity of others. Because as Unitarian Universalists, we are not solely in relationship with the holy or with a God or a higher being. We experience the holy through life connection. I often say we are a horizontal faith rather than a vertical faith. You are not each having your own relationship with a higher reality, perhaps, but you are also having a relationship with everybody around you. So it matters if they're okay too. Living into the connection rather than the separation. Writing our relationship also involves how we treat the expression and experience of vulnerability. In expressing our unease and dislike and frustration and even joy is hard. To say, I'm mad at you, I'm sorry, I love you, I want some space, I feel connected. All are vulnerable things to say. Many of us try to protect ourselves from that vulnerability, our own and others, with indifference. We act like it doesn't matter or everything is A-okay. More than once, I've caught myself saying things like, well, I just need to care less so that I'm not that affected. It can be scary to care about something or someone and want to be in right relationship and be disappointed over and over again. Therefore, the religious community has to be thoughtful about what to do sharing and receiving vulnerability. And this takes emotional maturity, not just individual, but collective emotional maturity. Last week, someone also far, far away, you'll never know, told me the story. They were talking to a friend about something they did, something that friend had done that was upsetting. And this person told me that they thought about it, found time to have a conversation that was not going to be comfortable, but they found a peaceful time, and they tried to do it to say, this made me upset, but to do it in a really thoughtful way. So then, like about a week later, this friend described that interaction, which was unpleasant, certainly, for everyone, as giving her shit and coming down on her. Characterizing their talk in such a manner was breaking connection. The person who told me the story could not be, the friend, could not be compassionate for the vulnerability of expressing something upsetting. Of course, this meant, sure, we can give people shit and give them a hard time, sure, but that's not what happened here. But characterizing it this way, and going to the extremes, meant that connection was broken, trust was eroded. Who would want to be vulnerable and say when they're hurt in that environment? Creating an intentional community culture of right relationship honors the risk-taking of all kinds, including things like, I am hurt and I'm scared and I don't know and I'm sorry. Because it's one of life's greatest ironies that when we are lonely, afraid, and hurt, grieving, we isolate ourselves. I don't know about you, I do it all the time. Therefore, we must cultivate practices of paying attention in order to be intentional with that vulnerability. Remembering the wise, wise words of the Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel, who said, "The opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference." Breaking connection is indifference. Are we still awake here? Just checking. Okay. We might go a little, okay. I have to mention that right relationship also involves being informed of the ways people are systematically marginalized and oppressed in our modern world, most notably because of identity or ability or situations of abuse or neglect, or because of our social standards of mental health. We have to constantly be intentional about the ways we believe and care for one another. This work is sacred justice, and although it's being vilified as quote-unquote woke in our larger world, the essence is about meeting people where they are and the writing of relationship. That's what the essence of that is. There are many other ways, of course, that we can increase the environment as a community of right relationship, learning to listen deeply, offering affirmations, creating systems that support resolving conflict and emotional development. These 4 phases, I believe it was only 4, that I've lifted up, address things that I, in my ministry, have seen commonly in many communities. They were claiming ourselves, our own existence, avoiding the triangulation by claiming our own selves, for better or worse. Living into our connections by replacing assumption making and judgment with curiosity. Build a community that can be tender with vulnerability, which means not going to the extremes. And understanding systematic oppression or countering oppression by believing in one another. There's a multitude of ways we slip out of right relationship. I do it on a daily basis. We forget, get distracted, fill up our emotional space with busyness. We get hurt, we lose hope, and if you're like me, we get cynical. We think we are the only one who cares or knows or wants or can do something. We fall out of alignment with our own best interest. I, too often, am short with people when I'm stressed. I suspect I'm not the only one who does that. Then it feels, when I am like that, it feels like my heart is shrinking. I'm grateful when my loved ones compassionately help me out of that and back into right relationship. We can also slip out of right relationship as a community or a collective. It's interesting how unconsciously communities will avoid tension or change and inadvertently shun individuals who want something that is too outside the box or too new. This is never meant to hurt anyone when this happens. It's because communities get tired and overwhelmed too, just like individuals. And there's even theology that can make us slip out of right relationship. Theology that says some people will go to heaven while some will suffer eternal punishment. This is actually a break in relationship of humanity as a body of energy, a synergy that exists until the time when I go to heaven and you go to hell. I hate that. I find it so arrogant. I guess that's another sermon. Okay. I'm like, how far do I go down that rabbit hole? So at its best, we have religious community to help us return to love, forgiveness, and all the nuances of being the people we think we can, creating the beloved world we think can exist. We are not, believe it or not, in outer space floating like a dead tree. Like it or not, life does exist and makes lots of noise all the time, like the trees falling in the forest. And it matters because we are in relationship to all that is around all the time. Therefore, take a deep breath and let us remember our faith as Unitarian Universalists in community and work towards righting our relationship with ourselves, one another, and of course, ultimately, with the larger world. May it be so. Breathe, and you are invited to rise in body or in spirit or both, and let's sing a hymn. That one. If you are ever lost in how or what to do or say or think, the basic religiously right relation question, which of course is rooted in Persian culture, just so you know, what is the most loving thing I can do or say right now? Remember that. May we all seek to be in right relationship. You're invited to stay and listen to our wonderful guest musicians postlude, and join us for coffee and conversation down below, where he's also selling some CDs. Go in peace.
Here comes the new Medusa. There's snakes on the TV screen tonight, and they say, all hail the new Medusa. It's so hard to look away when fear catches your eye. Suspicion almost steals our humanity. A new apocalyptic soul calamity. But I say, hold on. Let's be strong, it's gonna take some time before the minor chord resolves. But you can trust the song. Yeah, I believe that you can trust the song. Suspicion almost steals our humanity. A new apocalyptic soul calamity. Suspicion almost steals our humanity. Instead, I'm treating every face like family. Yeah, I say, if God is love, then love is strong. And I know sometimes the minor chord feels long, but you can trust the song, because if God is love, then love's the song. And I know you've heard the invite to sing along, and I believe that you can trust the song, that love's singing through you. And I believe that we can trust the song that love is singing through you. And I believe that you can trust the song. So instead I'm treating every face like family. And I can see that you can trust the song. Thank you so much. Thank you.